You eat today, you drink today, good. Today we create brand new Mortal Kombat ninjas on the show where I design brand new imaginary fighting game characters and invite you to do the same. Welcome to
Choose Your Fighter.
So as y'all know, there is a Mortal Kombat ninja, sometimes multiple Mortal Kombat ninjas for every color under the sun. So today we're gonna base the ones that we make off of 4 different colors that are not being used by any Mortal Kombat ninjas already. Teal, white, orange, and gold. So starting with the one that we base off of teal, let's figure out what different aspects of the Mortal Kombat world that we can pull inspiration from. I started looking at the Shirai Ryu, the Shaolin Monks, Special Forces, until I settled on making him another member of the Lin Kuei, the clan of ninjas that Sector, Cyrax, Smoke, and Sub-Zero, and my glorious cringe fail Queen Frost all belong to. And the thing about all of those ninjas is at some point all of them in one way, shape, or form has been transformed into a peak fighting machines that have had things like bombs, nets, missiles, and all kinds of crazy bullshit attached to their bodies to go along with their ninja skills to begin with. But when it comes to technology, there always has to be a trial stage, a draft stage, a blueprinting stage when you figure out what exactly is going to become your final design. And in the Mortal Kombat games, we only get to see the completed project that is the Mortal Kombat Cyber Ninjas, but from my memory, we never got a chance to see what it was like for those of the ninjas that aren't at the caliber of those like Cyrax and Sector and Smoke that ended up being used as guinea pigs. Spare bodies that have been taken apart, filled with all sorts of random ass technology and put back together again with a little chance of survival. But what if one of those bottom of the totem pole members of the Lin Kuei that was used as a test subject for the Cyber Ninjas survived somehow? And that right there is exactly what we're going to build this character around. We can make him some guy who was left in the middle of a junkyard in the middle of nowhere for years. Then he was brought back to life through mysterious circumstances, maybe by using technology through the Special Forces. I'd say he'd be this guy who was stuck in between 2 different mindsets. You know what? Not even mindsets is the right word for it. I'd say 2 different personalities. One personality is that low-level Lin Kuei warrior who was turned into a machine barely even a week into him joining the ninja clan. A guy who's very paranoid and on edge and mistrusting of people, somebody who's afraid to live his life now because of all that trauma that he was put through when being tested on. And that other personality is a cold-blooded and ruthless death robot that would have been that AI that took over his mind if that procedure that turned him into a cyber ninja was actually successful. Like an evil Jarvis trying to take over our Teal ninja's mind and force him to do things against his will. Now, how exactly does our Teal ninja look? Well, let's go ahead and see. Here we have our Teal ninja outmode. Named as such because to outmode something means to make it outdated or obsolete, and that is exactly what happened to him. He was made obsolete by characters like Smoke and Cyrax and Sector, and you can see that by the cybernetics only taking over part of his body and not entirely casing himself in it like the other cyber ninjas. And you can tell he's not exactly in tip-top shape by the bandages around his stomach and his leg, and the exposed wiring on his other leg and his arm. And I can see him using the exposed wiring as a part of his moveset by maybe using it as like a long-ranged grapple, or like something to help him swing around and pull himself to the other side of the stage. Then you can see on his arm where the exposed wiring is, he still has tattered pieces of his original Lin Kuei uniform, with the Lin Kuei symbol falling off on his shoulder to sort of show his detachment from the Lin Kuei as a whole. Then we move up to see his mask that was inspired by past designs of Cyrax and Sector, and that hood keeping the upper part of his face in shadow because he hasn't really come to terms to what exactly he is right now in his current state. So he tries to hide his face from different people so they don't see the mangled cybernetic mess that it is. But the most important key element of his design is his other arm, completely made up of hard light projection. And I would want this to be the sort of element that he controls. Sub-Zero and Frost control ice, Scorpion controls fire, Smoke controls, I never quite figured it out. And we would have out mode control old analog technology and holographic projections that he can turn into physical things. And we could see this in his fatality, where he would take those wires that he controls, wraps them around your body, and pulls you into, because it's Mortal Kombat and always has to be at least a little goofy, a giant physical hologram of a paper shredder. He'd send you into the giant machine as you're kicking and screaming before you're left on the other side as nothing but a bunch of tiny little ribbons. Okay, now that we have our Teal Ninja out mode made, let's go ahead and take a look at what our white colored ninja will become. So to get ideas flowing of what this character is going to be, let's go ahead and figure out first what exactly it is that they control. So I tried to think of different things that come in the color white, maybe like pearls, but then again, that's kind of too specific and limited. So I thought then again, maybe I could go with lightning, but then I remembered, oh yeah, Rain had to be a selfish ass nigga and take 2 elements instead of 1, so I can't go with that one. Then I had the idea that maybe they could control something like paper, like an origami ninja. But then I remembered, oh yeah, that'd just be Conan from Naruto when I don't want to just rip her thing off. So finally I got the idea in my head of doing something like porcelain. What things come in porcelain? Oh yeah, dolls. So for our white ninja, we can make them a porcelain doll puppeteer. Oh fucking damn it, I fucking forgot about Kankuro. Shit, okay, damn, and then there's what's her name? The old lady? Fuck, okay. I just gave the reason that I didn't do fucking origami because I'm ripping off a Naruto character. Now I'm actually ripping off another Naruto character. Shit, okay. Well, the shit's already drawn, so fuck it. We're going with it. So now that we have exactly what they would control and what their whole gimmick would be, let's try to figure out what exactly their backstory and design influences will be. So in the realm of Mortal Kombat ninjas, we do get a sort of subsection divider for each type of Mortal Kombat ninja. We got the ones that are actual ninjas, then we got ones that are more monstrous, then we got ones that are straight up royalty, and of course we got the cyborg ones like we did with Outcode. But with the Mortal Kombat ninjas, there's only really one mystical ninja, Ermac. So for our white Mortal Kombat ninja, I want to focus on that side of the Mortal Kombat lore instead. So maybe we can have them be some sort of disciple of Shang Tsung. So let's say our white colored ninja was a street rat kid from Outworld who only survived by using trickery and deception through their dolls. That was their only option because they grew up with nobody to look out for or care for them, no friends or family, until they met Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung would then teach them how to imbue different types of magic into their dolls to make them that much more effective. Through all that training, our white ninja would become deadly with the mystic arts and turn into an absolute unit, a force to be reckoned with. Now that we know what they're about, let's go ahead and take a look at what they actually look like. And here we have character number 2, Ventril, the Ventriloquist Ninja. Starting off with the 2 most notable things about their character design, the 2 giant doll heads that they control. I tried to give them this real old raggedy look to show off how they have been used by Ventril for years and years and years. I really wanted them to feel really off-putting and barely holding on by a thread. Then we have the robes that they wear. I wanted to go with the robes in the first place because it feels more spellcaster-like than the normal ninja outfits that you would see in Mortal Kombat. I also wanted the robes to feel very decrepit and old and wispy, and almost like something that is before this character's time. I had it in my head that these are robes that they stole off of another spellcaster that they took out, because I feel like wearing a dead man's robes feels very ghoulish, and I like that vibe for them. Then as we move up for their mask, I chose to go with the top half of a porcelain doll's face. If you can't tell, I've been watching my U9. Then I went with these milky white eyes to go with that ghoulish vibe, and these arcane markings on their head to really sell the fact that they are indeed somebody that likes to use magic and keep their opponent at a distance. Now for a fatality, I can picture them taking those two giant porcelain doll heads by having one of them bite around the enemy's body to hold them in place while the other bites off the enemy's head. Then Ventral can take those threads that they use to control other puppets and weave them in through the neck hole all the way through the enemy's body, and then use them to perform a nice and classy puppet show. Now, you've met Outcode and Ventral, so it's about time that we go ahead and meet our third ninja, our orange ninja. Now this one may be the easiest one that I got an idea for, because when I thought of the color orange, the first thing that came to mind was the season Autumn. And naturally what you see in autumn is falling leaves, so I thought why not make him be able to control foliage and plant life. Picture something like seeing a flurry of leaves flowing with the fall wind, all of the leaves collecting together in this tornado motion, spinning around and around before settling into a pile of leaves, before out of that pile of leaves crawls this giant brooding figure. So when I got that image in my head, I started to picture maybe he could be some sort of a nature spirit that has been talked about through many myths and legends that can be summoned by going through all of these ancient rituals, all leading to this enchanted forest. And once you finally summon him right, he is bound to complete exactly one task for you. And once he's able to complete that task for you, he'll go back into the forest and wait for somebody else to find the means to summon him. But to keep it so he can't be summoned over and over and over by the same people, the method of how he is summoned changes each time. And only a really small select group of people are able to keep up with the changes and know exactly how to figure out what the new ways are. This could be fun because he is a true neutral entity that can be used in any way, shape, or form in a story, right? He can be summoned by a villain to be a sort of hitman to take out the heroes. Maybe Quan Chi can summon him to take out Liu Kang or something like that. Or maybe he could be summoned by a good guy and be used as sort of a guardian for a certain relic that needs to be kept out of enemies' hands. Got it? Alright, let's go ahead and see what he looks like. Now here we have our orange Mortal Kombat ninja, Mangrove. Named after the milky mangrove tree, a tree with a sap that can cause blisters and blindness. As you can see, he is basically a giant tree man, with armor around his body made up of this really strong as iron wood. And he carries a 3-section staff that is made out of that same wood, and he uses it to spin around and summon flurries of leaves that can be sharp as blades and be covered with this sap like in the milky mangrove tree that will blind and blister opponents. And you know what, let's go ahead and add poison into the mix too. I should also mention that this design was inspired by the Fall Eladrin from D&D 5e. Then for how I picture his fatality is him throwing one of his leaves at you that cut across your skin and cause that sap to seep into your body, and the effect of them will cause you to be blinded. And as you're sitting there blinded, trying to feel around for your surroundings, you'll stumble into a pile of leaves. And then those leaves will start to spin as Mangroves performs a kata with his 3-section staff. That kata is what is going to be the thing that makes those pile of leaves spinning turn into a giant tornado, and while you're trapped in that tornado, all of the leaves will cut across your body like millions and millions and millions of different blades, making you die a death of a trillion cuts. Okay, now that you have met Mangrove, let's go ahead and meet our final ninja for today, our Gold Ninja. So when I was figuring out what the Gold Ninja's powers were actually gonna be, the Gold Ninja along with the Orange Ninja was probably the easiest, because a Gold Ninja should be able to control gold. But now we have to figure out how exactly her powers influence her personality and looks. So I started looking through the different MK games and figuring out what exactly I could get influence from. All up until I came up to Mortal Kombat 11, where I remembered there was one character that seemingly absolutely nobody cared about. I think he may be the one new character in that entire section of the Mortal Kombat newcomers. And that is Collector. You know, the little freaky dude that has his entire moveset based around all these little trinkets that he has? While in the storyline, he serves as Shao Kahn's personal wealth hoarder, making sure that he keeps all the cash flowing. And I thought that was a really fun idea for a character concept. Now, I don't really love or hate Collector, I just kind of find him endearing just for the sole fact that I always love the one-off freaks in fighting games. But I know a majority of the fandom don't really care about him or just straight up don't like him. So I thought maybe since Mortal Kombat 1 started a whole new timeline for the third fucking time. Oh yeah, for the other three, I didn't really think about where they fit in the timeline. Mostly in my head, I was just thinking they would sort of fit in the original Mortal Kombat timeline or like the one that was remade up in Mortal Kombat 9. Because honestly, the new Alt Universe take is kind of a fucking letdown. But bear with me for a second because I want her, my Gold Ninja, to specifically take place in the new Mortal Kombat 1 timeline. Because she could serve the same role as being the personal banker, but this time for Sindel. Maybe picture her as like a reimagining of a character concept, sort of like how Aki was the Fong. Not in like the exact same way, but like, you get what I'm saying, So, how exactly did our Gold Ninja turn out? Well, let's go ahead and see what our final Mortal Kombat character of the day looks like. Now say hello to our Golden Ninja, Dorian. Name coming from the mix of Dor, meaning unrefined gold, and Bullion, which is just another word for a bunch of gold. First off, instead of going for the more standard gold color throughout most of her design, I decided to go for more rose gold, first because I personally prefer it, and second because Scorpion already uses a bunch of gold in a lot of his costumes. So to me, using that shade of gold kinda went against the point of this whole video, which was designing Mortal Kombat ninjas for their own colors. So for her overall outfit, I went ahead and gave her a giant rose gold lined black fur coat, because I want her to give off this sort of pompous attitude, this very luxurious new money type person. I also wanted to give her this sort of elitist, snooty diva type vibe, sort of something like Emma Frost. Then the outfit under the jacket is inspired by the MK3 female ninja costumes, as well as Melina and Katana's from MK1, with some European royalty styled patterns in there too. Then I decided to also make her eyes rose gold too. Then I gave her this really big blonde curly hair that feels very Hollywood starlet to me, to show the air of a person that lives a very rich and lavish lifestyle. Then finally we have the main source of all her moves and attacks, her wakizashi. The scabbard and handle are diamond encrusted and completely made out of 100% pure gold, and the blade itself is the thing that allows her to control the gold in the first place. She can change its shape, form, and state of matter, basically manipulating it however she wants, with each slash raining down gold on the opponent. And speaking of what she does to her opponents, for her fatality, I can see her doing something like taking her wakizashi and stabbing it straight down through your throat. Then while you're struggling and grasping for air, that wakizashi blade that is the source of her powers is going to spread all the gold from it all throughout your body, completely encasing you inside out in gold. Then she'll have a bunch of royal attendants pick you up and take you away, all while she follows as she's being carried in a palanquin by a bunch of other royal attendants until y'all arrive in a great hall filled with tons and tons and tons of other victims who were also turned into golden statues after a humiliating defeat. We can also do that thing where MK references old characters that weren't as popular through this fatality by having them being the characters that are also turned into golden statues. Characters like Kira or Hydro or any other character that people don't really look as fondly upon. But there you have it, 4 new Mortal Kombat ninjas based on 4 new different colors. Go ahead and let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. Also, let me know what you would do if you can make your own Mortal Kombat character. And if you already made one and have drawn it, go ahead and show it to me on my BLUESKY, which you can find in the description. And while you're there, go ahead and follow me too. Also, be sure to check out my brand new podcast with my rabies-infested cat Gravy coming out every month on all these platforms here that you can also find in the description. If you like hearing people talk about dumb nostalgic shit that rotted our brains, yeah, you want to check that out. If you're feeling gracious and want to help out these videos get even better and come out more frequently, you can donate to my Ko-fi as well as become a YouTube member where you can get tons of exclusive content, including getting a shout out on these videos. So shout out to my first ever YouTube member, AddictedWithTheArt. Go ahead and follow them at twitch.tv/AddictedWithTheArt. And if you like the art that you saw in my videos and want some custom art made by me for you, you can go ahead and commission me through my commission site. And finally, of course, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell button, tell a friend, but most importantly, take care of yourself. I know times are tough, but we will get through it. I've been Aina Breezy, I was here, and I did the best I can. Later.